You've heard all about them: city markets, farmers markets, municipal markets. They come under many names. We're going to take a look at one today. I'm Dave Brown, back from Michigan State University, and we're down in Ypsilanti at the Ypsilanti's Farmers Market. I've got with me today Nancy Cudney, and she's the market master. This is a new venture, and it's pretty exciting. We're going to take a look at it. Nancy, what's your involvement with the Ypsilanti's Farmers Market?
Well, I was hired as the market master, and I make sure everything is running smoothly here. I coordinate the farmers and rent the stalls, and we arrange all of the produce and the plants in the best possible way.
How did the market get its start? This is the first season that it's been open.
We opened August 4th, and I've been set up in conjunction with Michigan State University, the city of Ypsilanti, who owns the market area, and the Depot Town Association.
We're in Depot Town, a section of Ypsilanti that looks like it's got a lot of history to it. Some of the buildings here look like they've been around for, 30, 40, 50 years?
150, some of them. I live in one across the street that's being renovated right now. There's a lot of that going on in Depot Town especially. We've gotten some federal grants, a lot of tax abatement, and interested and creative people working in Depot Town.
What's involved in a farmer's market? Looking around here, I see quite a few of the growers and producers. They have stalls set up. It looks like locally grown produce.
It is, all Michigan-grown produce.
But it does cover the produce alone, or do you have other items for sale as well?
Oh, a lot of plants and cut flowers, and there's some black walnuts here today, and some stocking monkeys, a few arts and crafts, honey.
When you first found out about the market, there was a lot of work here involved with the People Cooperative Extension Service and Michigan State University, and they contacted the Ypsilanti city government. Where did it go from there?
Well, it went into an advisory committee that was set up that shared members from the Cooperative Extension and the city government, and myself. A few council members are on the committee. No farmers until next year. We finally got some representatives to sit on the committee, and we'll be meeting the middle of the month. That committee made up a booklet of rules and regulations, which we've abided by for this year. We'll make new rules and regulations for next year. And they set rental rates and helped with the finishing touches on the design of the market. And all in all, put it into action. A lot of man hours went into it, more time than anything else.
How is MSU involved in this project?
Well, the Extension Service received a grant from the federal government to write a step manual for municipal markets. They asked for that kind of money. I'm not sure what the name of the federal program is. Every couple of years, some municipality comes to Michigan State and says, hey, we want to start a farmer's market. How do we do it? So a team gets pulled together, and then they start a market up and help do that. And then the team kind of disbands and so on. And it became time to carve it in stone, I suppose, so that it becomes a handy reference. As part of the project, they decided that they would like to work with actual markets, the best way to test things out. They interviewed various municipalities across the state and selected Mount Clemens, Alpena, and Ypsilanti as the markets to be involved in this particular project. When George Stashwick and the interview team came down from campus, we met with Steve Schutt, the city manager, and talked about the site and so on. There was Jay Burrows was down from urban planning, who was just terribly excited about this particular site because of the urban renewal without bulldozers aspect of things, the whole restoration business. And Steve is kind of a restoration buff himself, and so his involvement in this market has been not only competent but passionate. He really loves the thing.
Once you selected the number of growers or producers that were going to set up stalls here at the market, was there some sort of training program involved?
Yeah, George Stashwick and Arlene Arnold came down and did a presentation to the growers involved in this market. We had about 35 of them come out that night. We had the steering committee from the market. The city manager came down, and it was the first time that any of us had met the market manager.
Having had a chance to talk with some of the people that come down here and buy produce from the producers themselves, what kinds of responses are you finding?
People love the place. It's one of the most successful things I've ever been involved with. Everybody is winning. Business is good in the city. Business is good at the market, so the farmers are making money and keep coming back. Customers are pleased with the quality and prices. It's entertaining. The whole feeling of the place is extremely positive.
In setting up the market, I understand there was some sort of steering committee that was involved in rules and regulations of who should be able to do what. Do the farmers or producers have a say in this?
Yes, indeed. There were 2 growers involved in the setting up of the 1979 rules for the market. Nancy Cudme told me this morning that there are 3 growers who will be involved this winter, making plans for the indoor phase of the market, reviewing the rules as written for this year to reflect the actual happenings of the market. So the growers are very much involved in the whole process of making this market go, because they are, in fact, the most important part of the market. The dollars that have been spent developing the market to this point, I believe, will be returned in the local community within 2 years, which is a pretty fast payback. And one of the advantages of a farmer's market is that the money stays fairly close to home. It does not go to other places. It doesn't go to New York or Philadelphia or anywhere else. It stays in Ypsilanti or Washtenaw County or within trading distance of these market centers. And that means that there are spin-off effects for the local merchants, the banks, the food establishments, the entire community. Not to mention the non-economic benefits of having people get together, talking to each other. It becomes a little easier down the road to do other community projects because, in fact, you have a tighter community. People are comfortable with each other. They've learned to work together. They learn to trust each other. They learn to make things happen. The Department of Public Works from the city of Ypsilanti built this market. And I came down here the day before the market opened and saw all these guys working out here, just breaking their backs to make it happen, laughing, carrying on, having a wonderful time, really enjoying building something for their city. It was just tremendous. I was so excited by that, because DPW people spend a lot of time fixing the potholes, doing things that are not really visible. Well, those guys came down here and they built something for their city.
So one of the positive benefits of a farmer's market such as this is that it increases civic awareness, civic pride, and it's a project that everybody can be proud of. My thanks to Ken Ludwig, he's an agricultural assistant at the Washtenaw County Cooperative Extension Office, for sharing some insights in the Ypsilanti Farmers Market. I'm Dave Brown for Michigan State University, and we're down here in Ypsilanti. We're talking again with Nancy Cudme. She's the market master here at the Ypsilanti's Farmers Market. Nancy, when the market first got started, I rather suspect there was quite a bit involved in getting the city fathers organized to get the project going.
Yes, there was. We have had a lot of cooperation with the city of Ypsilanti. They put in a lot of time designing the market, and the Department of Public Works did a lot of work on the market. They laid all the asphalt and the brick and the concrete, and worked overtime for, I'd say, a good month to set the market up. The city manager, Steve Shutt, designed this market, and he watches over it every day it's open. It's sort of like his baby. He comes by to check it out every single market day.
Did the city come up with the financing for the market project?
Yes, they did.
And what do they expect in return from the market project?
Well, not much right yet, but I think that the city hopes mostly to encourage people to come into the Depot Town area, to build up the trade for the merchants along Cross Street, and to make our market a meeting place for the town.
When you went out and made the initial contacts with the growers, the producers who come in and set up their booths and stalls, what's involved here?
Well, Michigan State University's cooperative extension helped us a lot. They had already compiled a growers list for us, and they set up an initial meeting in which I think a core of 15 growing families attended. and they were all very interested in selling retail. They had no other place to sell. A few of them were selling on the Ann Arbor market or in Northville or Royal Oak, but they needed more. So this was an ideal opportunity for them to enter a farmer's market at the ground level and to build with it, to grow with it. A lot of these farmers hadn't been selling anywhere other than maybe a roadside stand, so it presented an excellent opportunity for them to increase their income.
What kind of range do you draw on the number of growers in the area? Do they come from fairly far away?
No, they probably come from an average of a 30-mile radius of Ypsilanti. We include 5 counties. I think there are maybe 10 growers in the Ypsilanti area.
Frank, how long have you been involved in this project?
This is my first year at retail. I've been wholesale all my life.
Where's your farm?
Maybe. East of Dundee.
How large is your farm?
120 acres.
All the produce that you have here on the stand, is it grown on your farm?
Right. All of it. I got some I don't even bring.
Why do you want to become involved in a project like this?
I was thinking about something for old age when I retired, something a little slower.
You've been in farming all your life?
Yeah, that's all I ever done.
Gene, I'm looking over the variety of produce that you have here on the table. Do you have the same types of produce available throughout the season, or do you rotate or vary?
We have it throughout the season when it comes in. We have everything.
How do you find working with the public here, dealing with them directly?
It's a lot of fun.
Do you find a lot of repeat customers come back to you?
Oh, yes.
I suppose when you come to a farmer's market, you don't really realize how many things are available. It's not just fresh produce. I'm talking with 2 people here, Marianne and Leslie Fitzwilliams, and they have something different to offer. Marianne, what have you got here?
Well, we work for a greenhouse, and we grow all kinds of plants, baskets, regular pot mums, gloxinias, big foliage, you name it, cactus, we got it.
When you come here on market days, what kind of response do you find from people?
They like our plants. They say they're healthy. We try to keep them that way. It's different. I always try to bring something that's different because I go for the different. There are a lot of plants that are common, so I always try to pick out what we got that's strange, that might eye attractions. They really like the plants, and I particularly make sure that they're healthy and that they don't have any insects or anything like that, because I don't want people coming back and saying, well, you sold us something that's no good. It'd be embarrassing, and I don't want to buy one.
It's bad for the company, really. It's bad. It would be bad for the people at Garden Fantasy. And like she said, they grow darn good stuff.
Why did you come down here?
The fresh vegetables and the prices, mainly. Help out the farmers.
How did you find out about the Ypsilanti Farmers Market?
Relatives. My mother comes down about every Saturday morning, and my aunts come down, my brother.
Do you come to a farmer's market to look at things that are going on around here, to buy vegetables, or what?
To buy the vegetables, mostly, and to see other people.
How do you find the quality of the produce here compared to what you find in a supermarket?
Fresher, a lot bigger.
Why do you come to the Ypsilanti Farmers Market?
Well, I live 2 blocks away, and I think it's a beautiful place, and it's a fun place to come down and do my shopping.
Do you come here often?
Almost every week.
Why do you come here?
Because it's close by.
What brought you down here to the farmer's market?
Well, we stopped for
we want to
breakfast,
see it.
and I wanted to see it.
Is this your first time here?
First time.
Yes.
Why did you come down here?
To shop. Yes. We like fresh vegetables, and we like fresh fruit.
When you came down here, how did you find out about the place?
Oh,
In the
through
paper.
the paper and everybody talking about Depot Town.
Do you live close by here?
Yeah, it's on Ford Boulevard.
Would you recommend this place to your friends?
I sure would.
Would. Yes, indeed. I think it's the greatest thing that happened to Ypsi. I really do.
Briefly, Nancy, what can we look for in the future? An expansion in the project?
Yes, we're going to be moving indoors into this freight building, which is, I think, will house 20 stalls, 20 to 30 stalls. We haven't decided quite yet on the size of them. We'll have meat and poultry, dairy products, fish, more flowers indoors, and some produce throughout the winter.
My thanks to Nancy Cudney for sharing some insights into the Ypsilanti Farmers Market. It's a booming project, and we're looking for more in the future. For Michigan State University in Ypsilanti, I'm Dave Brown.